Do not be afraid is one of the most frequently repeated phrases in all the Gospels. And it's interesting because in the parables, many times you'll find that fear and faith are being contrasted. You're wondering, well, where did I hear that before? Well, O ye of little faith. Or Peter was walking on the water till fear overcame him. Or were not our hearts burning within us when we thought we were walking with the Lord? Pope St. John Paul II used that phrase frequently. Pope Francis went so far as to say that it wasn't skepticism or secularism in the modern world that was the foe of faith. It was fear. And you can hear fear, find fear in our readings. I mean, Jeremiah doesn't hide in our first reading today. There are whispers of betrayal, the feeling of being surrounded alive in his reading. And sadly, you and I know this place where trust feels fragile, when words spoken behind backs wound deeply, when doing the right thing seems to cost a lot more than first expected. But some things ring true. Again, back to Jeremiah. The Lord is with me, stands with me like a mighty champion. There's no escaping the Lord, because the Lord is present with us. The Lord does not hide. And there's fear in our gospel today too, but Jesus speaks to our hearts. Do not be afraid. Jesus doesn't sugarcoat or hide the cost of discipleship in our lives. He doesn't shield us from being misunderstood or being rejected. But Jesus tells you what the Father sees. Not even a sparrow is forgotten, and tenderly, you're worth more than many sparrows, because God is not far away at all. God is as close as your hearts. Do not be afraid. But while you're thinking about, it's easy to say don't be afraid, you know that there are many, maybe yourself too, who carry heavy weights every day, daily, like being far from home, experience of illness, looking for work or struggles at work, being weary, being worried, concerned about your community, your family, or the world. There are those who feel overlooked every day with life struggles and daily struggles. But you know, when we take half a step back, like the sparrows, God sees all. God holds our lives close to His. None of them are lost to God. Jesus speaks again, do not be afraid. Not as a command, but more of an invitation. Because fear is not the last word in our lives. Fear is not the deepest truth about you and me. Fear does not describe us and define us. Jesus tells the apostles that it's fear that will keep them from living their faith fully. Jesus calls the disciples to live their faith loudly, visibly, truly, with zeal, and to do so because they are close to God's heart as God is close to our hearts. God is present in the everyday life. God never forgets. And you know, remember that God who remembers the sparrow? God never turns away from you and me. You might be wondering, well, what can I do for God? Well, follow the example of His Son. Be attentive. Listen to the urgings of the Spirit. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Be patient and present and forgiving to others. Share the word with others. And like we talked about last week, invite others to come to Mass with you. Family, friends, neighbors, folks that have drifted away, gotten into different habits since COVID. Invite them to come, hear the word, and maybe rediscover that sense of hunger for the sacraments that's alive in all who are baptized. Let them come and share with one another, because God does not turn away. We're called to find that quiet spot in our hearts where you can rest in God, and where your restless heart finds a home in our loud and busy and fearful and faithful and faith-filled world.